and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. It is time to do some more of walking in the rain. So I do now have a large painting as my current painting, or one of my current WIPs. So this one will now be sort of a section a week for a little bit. So the progress might be a tad slower while that happens, until I finish my current WIP. Oh, hang on, it goes that way. Until I finish my current WIP, and then I will probably do a little bit more of this. I'm just trying to plug my light pad in. There we go. It doesn't make a huge difference having the light pad on, but it does make a little bit of a difference, especially with the 310 and the 939, which I often start on. So I have, of my 3 storage trays that I use for this out of my case, I am going to do all the symbols, all the non-black symbols first. So the lines on this 310 are actually yellow. Hence, this is one of the ones that I'm going to start on. So I hope everybody has had an amazing week. At least Easter sort of makes this week a shorter week. So if you're not having such a great one, do know that it feels like it finishes a bit quicker because we got that long weekend in. A little bit of an extra weekend. But yeah, let's see how long this section takes. It's been quite a while since I've done, or it feels like it's been quite a while since I've done like one cover paper section in one video, rather than uncovering, say a bit more and just doing some until the whip and chat has been like, a nice length, and then finishing the rest off camera. I'm kind of hoping in this whip and waffle to do a complete section, and I'll see how long that takes as to whether I need to do smaller sections going forward or not, because I am definitely on a confetti piece now, so that could make a difference. Some of the sections further up the other end, where we're getting to some blockiness, are definitely a little bit quicker than some of these ones that aren't. I need my trashy. Do I have an orange trashy? No? Okay, we'll have this peach one. The black does have more trash drills than other ones, so I'm trying to consciously make sure I get rid of some as I go along. But this seems to be the pen I'm using at the moment. I need to get sort of either a system or team up my pens with my trays, just to try and vary which one I'm using. I probably also need to bring in some more metal tips, actually. I keep saying I need to sort of revamp or go through and inventory my pens and have a selection, that I can grab from videos. Maybe get one of each stock pen or something, and use those on videos, and pick one that matches whatever tray I'm using. Yeah, maybe I need to do that. Maybe I'll put that on my little list. So I'm actually filming this on Easter Saturday, because it's Easter weekend. I did a little bit of filming yesterday, Good Friday, for the Sunday whip and waffle, and then hubby has gone to Scotland with our son today. So I've had sort of a pottering kind of day, and then Megan she's not unwell, but you know, I think just because she's broken up from school, she's just having a day where she just needs to chill and read. So she's currently on her Kindle, reading, lay on the couch with Luna, who's absolutely loving it, because there's somebody on the couch to give her permanent cuddles. So I thought, let's go and do some more filming, and then I can do some more pottering tomorrow and try and take advantage of this extra long weekend and do a bit of both. It's been quite a nice day the last couple of days, weather-wise. We did have nice sun on Friday until it wasn't. So it was like, here, you can have some nice sun, think spring might be coming, and then we're going to have a torrential downpour and be freezing. And today has been more of a, remember that rain from yesterday? We're going to threaten you with it every now and then, but so far we're going to keep sunny. That's the way the weather's been today. So it's sunny, then it's overcast and threatening rain, but not actually raining, and then it's sunny again. So anyway, yeah, it's been one of those kind of days, but it has been a nice day for pottering. Got a few sort of little jobs done that weren't urgent, hence they weren't done yet. But you know, when you just have something hanging around that you need to just do or organise. We've had that. So we had some storage for the shop. It just needed, the stickers taken off from when we got it and getting it set up. It's primarily for a product that is not here yet. It is one that's sort of in the process of being made and then sent to us. So it's currently in the process of that. It's going to be quite a bit before it gets to us, just due to the journey it has to go through. So the sorting out, taking the stickers off and getting it all organised and ready for that was never an urgent job. Not high on the priority list at all, but it's just been that little niggle in the back of my head. So I actually got that sorted this morning. So that was really nice to get done. Luna did wake me up at 7:30. Not impressed until I'd woken up. Once I got to the point of having woken up, it's actually then since been a benefit, being awake that early, because I feel like I've got loads done today. I'll probably regret it this evening. I will probably just collapse and not want to do a thing. But for now, I'm riding on the productiveness of the day. So I hope everybody else has had a day like that themselves, or has at least been able to enjoy whatever it is that you are doing or have been doing. Right, they were the symbols that jumped out at me the most, which are done. See, these sort of jump out at me, but they're further up. I'm kind of wanting to get some of these lower down ones done. I'll do this one because I think there's only one. At least I think there is. I might actually do this number 8. It's not a huge symbol, but there is quite a lot of it. So I might go for this one while we start reading some comments. So Doro B. Punked. I'm not sure if I read this one last week or if I've just read this comment when I finished my WIP and Waffle and remember it from last week. But she says, hi Rebecca, nice video. She says, thank you for that. That is not the right symbol. She says, regarding the handles of the art dot drawers, she said, maybe your husband could design and print something with the 3D printer that doesn't protrude so far into the drawer but still provides a small grip to open them. She said, just a quick idea, keep up the great waffles. Thank you. If hubby could even get a look in at the 3D printers, to be honest. They seem to be constantly on the go. It's not something that we're automatically drawn to sort of solve something. But maybe, maybe we should do a bit more. Maybe once the weather's nicer, I always feel like we're more productive and more into doing things like that when it's nicer days, like it has been today, fresh, door open, potter about. Then maybe we'll go having a look at different things that can sort of be done and printed. I probably do have a couple of sort of knob handles that potentially could be used. Maybe look for something a little bit pretty. I think even if I could get sort of a set of standard doorknobs but with a flat screw on the back, they would probably work just as well. I may have to have a look after this WIP and Waffle, or at some point this weekend I may have to have a look and see if I can find something in the pantry. I may even, this will all more than likely depend on the weather for the rest of the weekend, but adding a few bits and sorting some bits out in this craft room, I feel like I've moved everything in, but I feel like there are some parts of it that just maybe aren't being optimized as much. Maybe I'll have a look and see if there's anything that I can sort of implement this weekend to just make it feel a bit more, a bit more homey, a bit more right. I don't know. And maybe sorting out those drawers can be one of them. I'll have to have a mull that over and see if maybe I can start messing about in here and getting some things, just a bit more functioning and very usable for what I need it to be. Corinne, she says she really wants the Harry Potter train Lego set. She said, but it is a collector's edition, so it's not cheap. She says, and she only tends to get Lego that she is going to display for at least a while to justify the cost. She says she has nowhere at all to display the train. She says, but she has managed to tell herself if she buys a shelf for it, then it can go above one of her paintings high up on their wall. She says, so now she has to save for it. Now she has a place for it to go. She says she wants to do the Rivendell one as well. Her aunt loves Lord of the Rings, so she's egging her on to buy it so that she can build it for her. I think that would be my ideal with Rivendell. I think that's why that's one that I've not bought, and I'm actually swaying a little bit more towards Titanic as being sort of a big one that I might do. Because of not being a Lord of the Rings fan. Nothing against it, I've just never watched it. So yeah, if anybody wants it building for them, I'm your gal. That's all I'm saying. I'll just say that. Right, I've got 3 of these. So let's fill these in down here. And then maybe my brain will concentrate more on these up the top that are easier to see. Just got a crossover of a little bit of purple and blue flowers, but then it's primarily green with that bit of pink, and we've got a bit of orange. Ditch the cardie. It's got warmer in here. It's not quite no cardie weather. Don't think that we're getting that nice of a spring, because we're definitely not, but it's not freezing. Wananessa a griffin. I've probably said that completely wrong. Put spaces in where spaces shouldn't be. But they've said, thank you for another great WIP and waffle. They find myself trying to keep up with me with single placing, because they are working on a confetti heavy painting from Ever Moment. Well, some instances on here, especially when I'm like looking for ones that are a little bit tricky, like I am now, and I know there's only a few, and then I forget what symbol I'm doing. See, I've just gone, it's the same symbol, but I want it in yellow, not in black. Okay, I think I'm done with that one. Yeah, it might be easier for you to be caught up / get ahead of me at the moment on a few of these. I'm just trying to get some of these ones that there's only a few of, so that the others jump out at me a little bit more. So I'm on the question mark, yeah. And I now keep double checking which one I'm on. Which one is it I'm on? And then, of course, when you put them in the lid, that doesn't help, because you have to lift up the lid to find out. And now I'm seeing more of them. There's one there. And there's one there. And I think that's one that I did before. So I'm definitely not helping myself. Right, where's that arrow? There. But yeah, I also like to try and mix up when I'm placing symbols that are trickier to find compared to when I'm finding symbols that are easier to find, and I can just go through them fairly quickly. I like to mix that up, especially if I've just finished answering a question and I know then that I can, chat about a topic while I'm struggling to find symbols. But then when I'm on symbols that are easier to see, that's when I try and read questions. It's not a conscious thing that I'm consciously thinking of, but it is something I noticed I did. And I notice I really struggle when I don't. So when I was working on the Sunday WIP and waffle, because pretty much every symbol was so confetti-ish, I found it really, really hard at sometimes to read a comment while trying to find symbols, because all of the symbols were just too hard to find. So anyway, I digress. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to catch up a little bit easier on this one, because I have got quite a few confetti bits. Denaya Nightshade said, as part of a household that drinks 2 or 3 pots, yes, you read that right, pots of coffee per day between the 4 of us, they have the joy of never needing to cut off their coffee consumption. They can drink a full cup and go straight to bed and sleep, no issues. Yeah, I think caffeine does affect people in completely different ways. It really doesn't seem to affect me that much. I think I've just, society says that you can't sleep after coffee, so therefore I tell myself not to have one after 9 o'clock. But there are times that I've had one after 9 o'clock and been able to fall straight asleep. And there are times that I've not had one since say 8 o'clock and I can't fall asleep for love nor money. So I actually thought the symbol I just did was the same as this symbol I'm doing now. That's why I tipped it into my tray. I thought, oh, there's loads of them. And then I went to put it down and realised it was a completely different symbol. It's all fun. It's all fun. Right. I got them? I think I have. I've not been doing very well at checking up here. So I'm kind of hoping that none of them are repeated further up. Or maybe I should switch to some of these now. Let's switch to some of those. Let's go for the 4 dots because that often jumps out at me as one. And then I'll sort of see what gaps I have after I've got some of these in. She also says, on the other hand, she says coffee doesn't do much for pepping up, doesn't do huge amounts of pepping up for her. So there is that. Yes, coffee is more of a needed to function than a put you into hyperdrive. That's what I find anyway. It definitely helps me to get through the day, but how energized I feel is not relevant to the amount of coffee I may or may not have drunk. It doesn't actually make any difference at all. I find I just enjoy a good cup of coffee. Eliza says it looks great. Thank you. It is looking really, really good, this image. I'm really excited with how it's coming along. That's something else I could do to be productive this weekend, is look at ordering my drills for my Heaven and Earth design. And I've just gone to tip those away and spotted a load more. So we'll just leave them half tipped into the spout while I actually finish them off. Are we really done now? I think we may be. Blossom Chops, she says when she recently got, oh hang on, let me get my next colour. I want this one. She said when she recently got her Diamond Art Club Mother Earth canvas, she also bought a 12 placer. She said it's the biggest one that they do, and although they've got up to a 6 placer from our shop, they are really enjoying the different experience. It's a great feeling of accomplishment when they can get 12 drills placed at once. I can imagine. I think I do so many canvases, and the two that I suppose my 2 current ones at the moment don't have. So this one, of course, is very confetti heavy, and my other one, while it's not as confetti-ish, there are definitely elements of it. And I think I'd spend more time counting to see if I could put 12 down, or lining up the drills slowly to see if I could put 12 down, that I could have just used my 4 placer, which I can count quickly in my head and sort of visualise easier. Maybe it's just the way I can visualise a row of 4 a lot quicker than I can visualise a row of 12. Maybe that's it. I do imagine on some with a solid background colour it could work really, really well, but for the moment I'm happy with my little 4 placer when I do use it. It's my go-to. I'm just checking I've not missed any more before I do this last block. Just noticed I've got cardigan fluff all caught on my watch strap. Mrs. Thaxton, she says, oh my, she says she loves coffee anytime. She says she doesn't do decaf either. She says, and you're making me want one now. You're making me want one now. I'm filming. I can't go taking a break for a coffee quite this early into a. And then my memory card saves and reminds me that I am 20 odd minutes in. So maybe. I didn't have one just before I came in to film this video, so maybe that's what's up with me. But yeah, it's kind of making me want one. Making me wonder if I should just... No, I'm going to hold on for a bit, and then I might just go make one and then bring it in with me, or drink it and then come in. I'm quite liking, especially when I'm not as pressed for time, and when I'm, you know, more than happy to let the WIP and Waffle potentially run a little bit longer than I normally do, until I've finished a section or I've finished comments, whatever it may be. I do like taking that little break part way through a WIP and Waffle, because then I feel like I actually kind of feel like I filmed two, which I actually enjoy, because I really enjoy filming the WIP and Waffles. And if I had the time, I would be so tempted to just do a WIP and Waffle a day and just enjoy the process, because I do love it. It's just not practical. It's just not practical. And I'm not enough of a morning person to just get up and do a WIP and Waffle with you guys in the morning and then do everything else I need to do for the day. Yeah, just I'm nowhere near that organised. Right, that I think is the last of my yellow symbols that I can see. I have no red symbols on here. There is only 4 red symbols anyway, but there's none on here. So let's go to the blue ones. Okay. Oh, don't jump out the tray. Feisty, feisty. Feisty little diamonds. Let's get these random ones first, before we sort of concentrate down here. It's just a couple that are scattered. Olivia says she didn't realise how much stuff she had until she was unpacking when she moved in after the decorating. She says mostly dotting canvases. That is the thing, especially if you store things in different places, maybe different places around your house, or if you're very good at tucking like I am. Even if I try to empty my craft room for whatever reason, even if, say, I wanted to give it a coat of paint and I emptied everything out, it's just like it explodes. There's just so much stuff that just tucks into so many places. And I think I try to limit myself on many things. There are some things I'm not very good at. Trays, cover paper and pens spring to mind. I'm not very good at limiting myself on those. I like the choices and I like the variety. But yeah, it is amazing how stuff can accumulate bit by bit. Right, I actually don't have that many more blue symbols. I kind of thought I had quite a few, but it seems like most of them were the circle. So I've just got a few that are other ones. So this is the stuff that takes time. Olivia also says, she's always missing diamonds, which is after she's just tipped the diamonds back into the pot. Yes, this one can be murder for it. There is just so many colours for this one that I think if I got to the point of using the little tray trick, I would actually just use trays for every single colour and just do it that way. Because I think that would just work out so much easier. I I just don't have the space to have that many trays out all at once. Right, is my light pad? Yeah, it is on. My light pad's actually quite low. Let me try turning it up. Have I even got my hand on the button? Yeah, I have now. There we go. I actually turned it down for my coffee hug in a mug. It didn't need. It actually was better being lower. So it's still turned down from that. Okay. Now I'm going to get out my 2 trays with all my other numbers on. In fact, if I put that there, if I just scoot that down just a smidge, I can actually have both trays above me. And then grab and diamond paint. Right, let's fill in a few of these blue bits, I think, these blue and purple bits, to sort of fill in these gaps. I love the way these squares click in. You're sort of pushing them in, but you know, they're not popping or anything. They're just nestling everything in close together. I love it. I feel like that's tidied up quite a bit of that corner now. So now I want to tidy up this bit here that's all colour. And then we'll see where we're at from there. Okay, I want this here, because I've not worked on this for a little while, because I've had my other paintings to work on. I feel like I'm a little bit forgetting what's in what tub, and actually which tub is which tub at the moment as well. I need to remind myself. This is my alphabets, arrows, triangles, diamonds. This is my other one. Try and remind myself which one I should even be looking in the first instance might help. And try and get, because this purple does sort of go over to the blue as well, which is why I think once I've done this purple, I may end up just finishing off this blue bit as well. But then I've got visions of this orange standing out, so that's why I said we'll see how we end up going as to which one. Whether I end up doing all of that before I end up doing the green. Cross Stitching Tat says she has never kept a logbook, so she decided to do an inventory of her canvases. She says not counting her paint gem minis, her keychains or her notebooks, earrings and such. So her paint gem minis and her off the canvas items. She has 155 canvases. She says, can you tell I am addicted to this craft? Yes, just a bit. Even if you were able to complete those at 1 a week, you have a decent amount of canvases to do. You have at least, well, probably 3 years worth. 3 years worth to do. So yeah, it should keep you out of trouble for a while, that's for sure, with all those to do. Yeah, that's what I think why I've been trying to concentrate this year on working through ones that I have, because there was a time right at the beginning of sort of my diamond painting journey, and I'm sure I mentioned it in some of my sort of really early videos, is I'd only have 1 or 2 diamond paintings in my stash, and I'd sort of work on them in the order that they came in. I think I then got quite a big influx of diamond paintings actually from fan sales. So a lot of my 30 by 40s and things in 2020, I got quite an influx of those. And then it seems as though from then on, my stash has just grown rather than teetering at the right level. So I'm trying to consciously this year, not including paint gems, they don't count, to sort of rein things back in a little bit, and see if I can just get it a little bit more manageable. Though I do have some coming from Aura Lower for unboxings, so how well I'm going to be able to keep up with it, I just don't know. My own worst enemy. Olivia, she says, if you like sweets, she says, go to So Sweet. She says they are opening places up around Cornwall, such as Newquay, St Ives and Truro. She says she loves cream teas. She said we tried Cherry Tree Cafe in Padstow. She says, and their scones are delicious. Ooh, sounds nice. I don't think we're actually going Cornwall this year, but it's always good to have recommendations. If not for me, for others. And I've just spotted a flower that I missed. So we'll get that one while we can. It is tucked right in between a load of other dark ones, which is why I missed it. I'll try and get my missed ones as soon as I spot them, because it just annoys me otherwise every time I see them. And I'm like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. So I just try and get them done. I've managed to tip a dry sheet piece in. I've started removing these now. I was trying to keep the dry sheet pieces in, because even if they stay in the bottles for me to use next time or in the future, I thought it saves me cutting them up, and it can be really handy to have them for the next one. However, when they do tip out into the likes of my lid or into my tray, that's more annoying. So I've started getting rid of them now, because it only needs a couple of uses of the actual bottle for the dryer sheet to just do its magic and stop all the others being staticky. So, right, I've only got a few more blues and purples. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to move on to. I might move on to some green, because I feel like I need to be tipping some diamonds into my tray instead of my pot lid for a change. I need to find where this symbol is, because I don't class it as a particular shape. So I've probably used that one to fill a gap where I've got other ones with gaps, and I'm not spotting it. I'm not spotting it at all. Where are you? Where are you, purple? There you are, up the top, in my random symbols. See, look, there we go. Another piece of dryer sheets fallen into my lid as I've tipped a few diamonds in. So it's going. You won't be annoying me like that again. That's what I wanted to do. Finish those ones up. Though that grey blue, actually, well, it's actually a grey. Not many left of these, so maybe this is the last time I'll be placing these down. Who knows? I still have spares, still have more left if I need them. But this may well be the last place these need to go. It's obviously a very low colour. It's not one I remember using a lot. Only have a few, but I could have only had a few to start off with, so who knows? Right, let's tip some into a tray. I don't know how many of these I've got, but I know I've got a lot of them here. I get to fill quite a few little gaps in. Grey Legrand, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, maybe hubby needs a 3D printer all to himself. She says, or would the shop adopt it? The shop would probably adopt it. It'd probably be like, oh, I could just use it for a bit. Like, there are times when we don't need all the printers, but there are a lot of times that we do, or even if we're not using all our main printers to, say, maybe print stock or limited edition trays, they're working on our once a year project. So even if we have a printer that's not doing stock and limited edition trays, it's doing other stuff. And sometimes we have 3 of the printers all doing other stuff because I've managed to get stocked up and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, it would probably get adopted by the shop for a while. And then once our yearly project is completed for this year, then he would be able to have the printer back. So maybe he can just have the printer back like November, December time. And he'll just have to, anything he wants to make, he just has to use around November, December before it starts going back into use again in January. Olivia says she loves glitter, but it goes everywhere. Doesn't it just? Glitter is definitely one of those things that looks pretty, but is an absolute nightmare to clean. Just doing a quick scan then to see if I'd missed any before I start covering the diamond painting with my tray. As soon as I start covering them up, I like to do a little quick check around before I put my tray in that place. I still do a check once I've finished, but more checks are better than no checks, because then I'm definitely going to miss something. There's actually a lot more of these than I first anticipated. So maybe it is good to get some of these greens done. I just went for the one that stood out to me the most, especially now I've done all the yellow and blue symbols. It's then a matter of going for what is standing out the most and then do that one, because then hopefully it will stop me from missing any. Now this is the only time that having that tray there is a problem, is when I'm getting right up the top. I can see it, but the angle for my pen is knocking against this now. But hey, it's only for a couple of rows. It's still easier to be able to see all of my colours all at once, to actually be able to grab them and not have to think which case they come out of. Makes life easier for me. Pam, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she told me that last time she wrote a comment that she was moving out of the place that she was living, and she has to be fully out on March the 31st, which is Easter Sunday. Sorry, I'm just doing a final check. She says she thinks the diamond painting is so pretty. She says she has been so tired from moving. She's been getting about 2 hours sleep a night. Ooh, that's not enough. And then getting right back up packing and moving into a new apartment. She says she cannot wait until she is finally moved in to her new place. She says, sorry about the long saying in this WIP and Waffle. She says this diamond painting is coming out beautiful, so beautiful. Oh, don't you worry at all. Thank you for taking the time to write a comment while you're busy moving. I hope you were enjoying a little bit of rest time for yourself and peace and quiet, maybe. Or maybe you were just sitting and resting because you had to. Either way, don't forget to take care of yourself. I mean, by the time this is up now, you will be moved. So you can take a breath and enjoy the fact that you are all moved in. So yeah, I really do hope that you're enjoying your new place. Right, I feel like I need to get a few of these again, niggly little bits. Niggly little sections that are floating about. I've got those two more because I felt like I was going to miss them if I didn't, because they're quite dark. But then I have got some orange ones here, but then I know I've got some orange up there, but I feel like these are going to get missed if I don't do them, because I'm going to be fully concentrated up the top. That's the wrong one. That's the one. So I've got one that's an egg timer and one that's a bow tie. So I just needed to make sure I got the right one, but I only need one of those. There is actually none of that up the top. Okay, that's okay. Then I need this dot. Where is it? Why can I not see my dot? Have I put it somewhere else? No, I'm just blind. Okay. It was with my other dots. It's in a place that makes perfect sense. I just couldn't see it for looking. So I am going to do these dots up here while I'm at it. There's actually loads of them up here, but only one down there. And I thought I'd just missed another one of those symbols, but the one I did down here was the bow tie, and this one up here is the egg timer. So I'm all good. I'm all good. Okay, dots are done. Then the number 2 symbol, Roman numeral 2. I've got one of them in here, but then there's some scattered over here. Oh, this is one of those symbols that they throw in random places, which I get why. It sort of does the edges of things. It's like a shading type colour, but it does mean I have to constantly check all over the canvas to make sure that I've got them all, and I'll probably still miss some, but it's all good. I'll just keep getting the ones that I see and hope for the best. Right, have I got them all? I'm just going to do a double check down here, because even though it's not that dark a colour, it could just throw the odd one in. And then check over this way. No, I think I've got them all. We're going for a yes, I've got them all. And then I need to do 400, which is the same sort of thing. There is quite a few of these in and around the same place that number 2 was. But that's the gap I wanted to fill in. And now I need to sort of get all the rest of these. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes all is well with me. She says she's loving this progress. She says she is currently crocheting squares to make a blanket for her bed. Love it. I very nearly, there is a wool shop local-ish to us. It's only 5-10 minutes, more maybe 10 minutes away from us. It's quite a big wool shop, and they sort of do like, you know, lessons and beginner guides and all that sort of stuff. Because as much as I can watch YouTube to potentially learn to crochet, I feel like to initially learn, I'd be better doing it in person and be able to ask all those questions that are buzzing around in my head, to be able to concentrate on the task at hand. and then, you know, maybe watch YouTube and stuff to sort of expand things I didn't know I needed to know, rather than questions I have. And I very nearly signed up for one of their courses, but like they didn't have any available for about a month. So it's a bit of a, well, if there's not one available now when I have the impulse to do, then it's not going to happen. So yeah, I haven't yet decided. I also I think like crocheting sort of appeals to me, but I think making a quilting appeals to me slightly more, just for the fact of learning how to do it, making myself a quilt and then leaving it at that. Because to have it as a hobby, I would need a lot more space. I think there is somewhere that does quilting nearish to me as well. Maybe I should look for that. Or maybe I should get one of the kids to look for that and look at it as maybe something for my birthday. Say, here, get me lessons and somewhere I can go to the point of making a quilt from start to finish, and then leave it at that. That's what I need. And then I'll have just been happy. I could just go there, you know, whenever it is, however often, and just go each week or each month until my quilt is finished, and then leave it at that. That's what I need. Somewhere local I can go and step by step make a quilt, and then not have to buy all the tools or all the things, or have all the things in my house, and potentially get addicted to all the things, because I only ever quilt when I'm there. That's what I need. That's what I need. But yeah, I do love, you know, I do appreciate the people that have quite a few different hobbies and sort of do a bit of both. I always feel like I'm neglecting one if I'm doing another. I think the only thing I've made sort of work was when I did that Christmas cross stitch, because I've cross stitched since I was a teenager, if not actually possibly before. I think I may have only been about 8 or 9 when I got my first one. Anyway, because I've cross stitched for years, but it's never sort of been. It's had times where it's been my only hobby, but it's never been a hobby that I felt I want to do this and I feel like, you know, I'm going to miss it if I'm not going to get to do it. It's something I enjoy if I'm doing an image that I enjoy. So I don't particularly go hunting for images. If one jumps out at me, then great. And that's the only hobby that I feel that I can sort of mix in a little bit, though it did take me quite a while to do it, because of the fact that I prioritised diamond painting over cross stitch. But yeah, I just feel as if I had another hobby, it would constantly be the battle of which one am I going to get to do, because I primarily get to do them on an evening. Occasionally at the weekends, or of course when I'm doing WIP and waffles I do, but I don't class that as my diamond painting time, even though I'm getting progress on my diamond painting and I love doing WIP and waffles. It's not the same sort of switch off time as just sitting there and just dotting away. Oh, that's half a diamond, that's why that's not working, with like a book on or something. So yeah, I just feel like I haven't got the time to dedicate to another hobby. Maybe when I retire. Ashley, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, are you able to do a updated or more current video about ordering the canvas and drills for your Heaven and Earth design project? I will be for my next Heaven and Earth design project. I mean, things do still stand from my original video, but because I have decided to order both I actually think I'm going to order a couple of different canvases, and I'm going to order my drills for my Heaven and Earth design mini project that I'll be doing when this is finished. Then I will be doing a video on that. It'll sort of be part of the Thursday, you know, big project WIP and waffle and things. So how it'll probably go is once this is finished, I will have a video or two, maybe two, of me de-kitting this video and sort of the finale of this. And then I will have a video or two, I'm not quite sure, you know, how many will be needed, of me preparing for my Heaven and Earth design project. And then we will go into the WIP and waffles of me doing said Heaven and Earth design project. So that's the sort of plan, is as each one finishes, we will have the ending part of one, and I'll put in, I won't just move the de-kitting video to another day and have it on another day. It's like it's a Thursday project thing, the whole thing is. And then of course when I finish the mini Heaven and Earth design, that will have a de-kitting, and then I'll have a kitting up of outside the sweet shop before we then move on to the outside the sweet shop WIP and waffles. So that's my thought process with it, is that we'll follow that flow. Right, that one's done. Oh no, it's not. I've just missed one. And of course I've spotted it after I put them away. But I do need to change my battery in my camera. But I was mid-sentence before, so I didn't want to change it then and grab a brew and then forget what I was talking about. So, as this is taking not ages, but longer than maybe I initially thought, I am going to take a pause myself, not that you guys will see it, and then we'll come back and finish getting the rest of this done. Do you know what? Just as I'm finishing, I'm like, oh, I need to figure out what's going on with this light pad before I start the camera up again. And then I've just realised I plugged it in because the battery was low. I just didn't turn the plug on, so that's why I couldn't see as well. Anyway, yeah, let me go get some caffeine. Hello again. I am all caffeined up. I've had my brew. I now have a light pad that is actually on and probably does not need to be that bright, to be fair. No, that was the other way. There we go. It doesn't need to be hugely bright. It just obviously needs charging. I was working on my Auraloa painting last night, so I think I went through a fair amount of charge. I actually charge it now in my craft room, so I tend to just use it, and then when I realise that it's gone flat, I put it on charge and just use it while on charge, and then let it charge up before I turn it off and rinse and repeat. Carrie, she says, another amazing waffle. She says, this week she finally had a day without a migraine. Woohoo! Absolutely amazing. I bet you felt like a new woman. She says, the first day in over a year, she says, without having one. She's also had 3 days that she's been able to do small sections of her diamond painting. She says very small sections, she says, but still she hasn't been able to do that in 2 months. She says, thank you for your kind words and support. She says she appreciates it and the support of the community. That is the kind of news that we like to hear. That's amazing. Love it when things are on the up. So I hope you've had many more days of no migraines since your last comment, and you feel like, yeah, just feel more like yourself again. Lady Dax, she says, yay, P Jelly is happy again today. I think I used my rose pen last time. Say I do need to organise my pens really, and sort of get things lined up a little bit better. It does make me think that might be a nice thing to do while sort of finalising bits in this craft room and getting things just how I want them. I might do that this weekend. I always feel like I've benefited from like a long weekend, or even a weekend, even a shorter weekend, when we've got stuff done. So last year we had some work done to extend a path in the garden, and we had leftover bricks from doing that because we've got sort of block paving, and they have been there since it was done last October, and they were actually, I said to hubby, I said, you need to should we put these up on Facebook Marketplace this weekend? Because it's Easter weekend, so if other people are doing home projects, it'll be an ideal time, you know, for them to get them. And he did, and they went yesterday. So it was like, oh, absolutely fantastic. So I feel like we are taking little steps towards getting things done. Hubby and I have discussed things we want to get done. This is a sidetrack now, but we're thinking of making little lists in rooms of things that like need doing / things that we'd ideally like to do, and then investigating those things and going, right, okay, yeah, this idea that we've had is, you know, not a reasonable cost, because we actually started looking, this started because we started looking at redoing the bathroom. But really, like, the bathroom doesn't need a complete redo. There's just a few things that are annoying us. But looking at getting the bathroom redone has made us realise that actually our money is better spent getting just the things that are annoying us done, and then taking it from there. And it's led us to thinking about things in each and every room. So we've always wondered that we've had the same windows in this house for years. And in relation to the glass and stuff, there is nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with the style of them. You know, they're quite a basic style, so they're not outdated or anything like that. There's no problems on that front. There's no problems with the glass themselves of the double glazing, but some of the locks and hinges are starting to play up. So that's our first task. We have somebody coming next week who sort of basically just does things like locks and hinges and things like that, just to let us know whether new windows is something that we need, or actually we can just do this and save ourselves a fortune and spend it on other things. So yeah, actually getting those stones out the garden was sort of one step to getting the garden ready for summer, and getting things sorted out there. And yeah, we're going to start focusing on different things around the house, looking into prices and things for things that we'd like to get done and things that need to get done. We sort of keep having a discussion and go, right, okay, what's the priority? And then yeah, just actually taking steps towards getting things done. And I keep thinking of little tasks like, you know, the sorting out and revamping of the craft room. You know, like, what do I want in an ideal world? if budget wasn't an option, wasn't a thing, like, you know, what would I want done? Okay, what are the costs of those things and what are actually reasonable to do and what aren't? So yeah, I might do some of that tomorrow based on the craft room, and see what I can make work. Anyway, completely sidetracked, onto something else. Lady Dax also says, she says, well, poo emoji or poo eyes or not. She said she has managed to complete a custom of her 2 older sisters. She said it was a black and white photo, so plenty of colour blocking. She says she'll put a picture in the group. I did see your picture in the group. It looks amazing. I can't remember if I reacted to it or not. I do remember seeing it though. It may have been a fleeting see it, or I may have got interrupted by a phone call or the dog or a child or something else. But it does look really, really good. She says, happy Easter, Rebecca, to you, the family and the rest of us zesties. I love the fact that you're all now called zesties. You're all zesties. Oh, missed one. Got it before I managed to tip them all in. If I don't throw them about instead. I've got quite a lot of this colour. This must be a colour that is coming up in sort of the sky part. It's a nice colour, that one. 166. Right, now I want this dot one. It's another sort of brown one. There's quite a few of these. Jaina, she says, long comment inbound. She says, hey Rebecca, she says, it's been a long while since she last popped in. She says, but she saw this gorgeous canvas and she couldn't help but say hello. She says there has been a lot going on in her neck of the woods. She lost her dog in September and her grandmother 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Friday just gone. She says, among other things, she says the family is very shaken up by the turn of events, but we're all hanging in there. It can be, even if it's expected, it can still end up being a shock, losing a loved one. It just puts the world into perspective and knocks you completely off kilter. She says she's trying her best to keep everyone in good spirits. She says, but their cat does most of the heavy lifting on that end. Oh, bless. She says she's helping out where she can. Well, don't forget to take care of yourself as well, not just others. She says diamond painting's been a bit slow lately. She says 2 paintings within 6 months. She says, but she does hope to pick up some more when summer comes around. Especially now that she'll have some more free time on her hands. She says to join in the coffee discussion. Love a good coffee discussion. She says she's not fond of the stuff. That's more for me. She says family members can go through a pot pretty quickly, but she'd rather have her hibiscus and honey lemon tea if she's given the choice. She says she loves the smell though. That's always good. She says she hopes that me and mine are doing well and she hopes to pop in again soon. Oh, thank you. Well, you take care of yourself. We're all doing good over here. We are plodding on, enjoying the fact that spring is coming. Really looking forward to sort of spring and summer. We don't want a heat wave. Do you know what I mean? UK's not built for heat waves. It can be spring until autumn time if it needs to be for me. We just would like a lot less rain and yeah, just a nicer day. In fact, that reminds me, as I'm filming this on the Saturday, the clocks change tonight for us in the UK. So yeah, do note that down when it comes to launch. We will be on British summertime. Summer being the operative word. But I did spot a post, just a general post, or somebody had forwarded it or copied it on Facebook, where it just said, to us Brits, don't forget that the clocks go forward, which means 1 hour less rain. And I was like, that is so true at the moment. It has been so wet recently, or at least I feel like it's been so wet. Even days when you think, oh, it's going to be a nice day, it's like it will rain at some point. At some point during that day, it will rain. So yeah, I just thought that was funny. So I thought I'll pass that on when I thought of it. Kim, she says she's tweaked her back this week, so no dotting for her. She says she's very glad that she can get her fix from watching the WIP and Waffle. She says, so thank you. She says she has been experimenting with a 4-placer, and it seems to be the right number for her at this time. Perfect. And you may find it changes. You may find you can be like Jackie and go for a 12-placer. Or you may find that you're like me and at the moment quite happy sticking with a 4. I've always single-placed diamond painting primarily. Was never really even interested in trying multi-placing. It was just, I think it was just a lot of people sort of encouraging me to give it a go and telling us their stories of them giving it a go that made me give it a bit more of a go. And now I'm pretty confident at 4-placing. I don't do it all the time. I've hardly ever, I may have done a couple of bits on this painting where I gave it a go, multi-placing, but it's definitely not my go-to thing to do on this painting just because it's so confetti. I just can't be doing with twisting my pen round. I'd just rather pick up a diamond and put it down. But it has been quite nice to do it on a few other paintings that I've had coming up, especially some of them with big solid backgrounds. I've really found enjoyment doing it on those. So I'm glad you found a multi-place size that is working for you. And yeah, if you grow with it, you grow with it. And if you don't, you don't. Right, let me get my next colour. Get the top back on one, and my eyes are scanning for my next one at the same time. And I think this one just needs a few. So I've gone for the pot because I think that's it. It's quite a bright one, that one. So it seemed a little bit easier to see. I want this asterisk next. There is a few of these. Sarah says, hi Rebecca. She says she absolutely loves my WIP and Waffle. She's been watching for about a month now, and she says she's learnt a lot from me, as well as she's ordered 5 Paint Gem minis the other day. Another one joins the club. She says she couldn't resist after all my videos of them. I do love them. I do love them. I won't apologise for it. I really, really enjoy them. I don't do them all the time, but I do always have some on the go. That's for sure. And I even have another one on its way. She says they look so fun, she says, and she loves the idea of being able to finish a few in one sitting and get that sense of accomplishment. She said, thank you for all that you do. Oh, you are so welcome. Yeah, I mean, some nights I will do 2 or 3. Some nights I'll just do 1. Some nights it's actually quite nice. I'll think to myself, okay, I've got a couple of hours diamond painting, and maybe I'll pull back a section. So maybe if I thought to myself, oh, I've got 2 hours of diamond painting, so maybe I'd take 2 sections off this when I'm not doing a whip and waffle at the same time. I'd think, yeah, a couple of hours, about that size section, and I'd sort of start diamond painting. And sometimes what I find, especially like if it's been one of the top sections that's not as confetti, I get a section finished quicker than what I thought, or maybe by the time I've finished, maybe an hour and a half has gone, and I'm like, oh, do you know, actually I feel like doing more diamond painting, like I want to, so I'll just get a paint gem and it'll take 45 minutes to an hour, and it just tops up my diamond painting time, rather than maybe uncovering another section of the painting and feeling like I'm getting all the same symbols out again, all the same diamonds out again that I just had out for the other section that I've done. So yeah, I love using paint gem minis for that too. Right, just doing a quick, this is where a few of these colours, especially these brownie colours, I tend to find they're sort of in one part, but then they're also in another part of the painting. Like this one, it's in here with these oranges, but then it's also over here with these pinks. Dotting Diamonds says, hi Rebecca, they hope that I'm having a lovely Easter weekend, which I am, thank you. They've started preparing first ever Heaven and Earth design. Awesome. They plan to start it after the April event with Diamond Art Studio. They've got their canvas from Smith's Beads, which is a UK company. They said, and it seems very good quality and nice grids too. Well, sorry, I'm looking for a triangle and I was looking in the wrong box. She says, thank you for all your videos. She says, you keep me company, and so do the rest of the Add More Zest gang. All us zesties together, getting stuff done, keeping each other company. Exciting news on your first Heaven and Earth design as well. And soon I'll be able to dot along with you for your Heaven and Earth design. Because you're likely to start yours before I start mine. I'm not sure, you know, what side of sort of June waffle it will be, but everything takes a pause for June waffle, where I do a section of a painting every single day for the month of June. So all of this Thursday waffle and all the rest of it will take a pause then. So yeah, it'll be after June waffle. Whether there'll be some preparation videos for it before June waffle will all depend on timing, but I'm sure we will cross over somewhere. Crystal, she says, hi Rebecca. She said she had to pause for a second. She said to give me a tip that she has been using for a few years. She says then her painting gets to the end when she's doing it sideways. She uses painter's tape on the corners and it doesn't leave any residue. So what she does is she tapes it straight to her light pad. She also feeds her finished part of the painting, so the part at the bottom of her painting, between the top of the drawers. that is an idea that will work really well on my drafting table. So thank you so much for that. Maybe I should just try taping and maybe use the likes of masking tape, painter's tape, because that can be potentially a bit stronger than just other standard adhesive. I'll have to give that a go when I next have this one on my drafting table, or when my next one that I'm currently working on gets near the end. The dark light, she says, speaking of easels, she has a custom one. She said it's much shorter than the ones that she sees online and in stores, but it is much wider. So it is 16.5 inches high, which is 42 centimetres. And it's 40 inches wide, which is 101.5 centimetres wide. That is a nice wide one. She said she likes it because she doesn't have to clip her painting to her light pad when she starts. And it is wide enough for any painting she owns. She says, woodworkers in the family for the win. Awesome. If jealousy was a thing, jealousy is a thing. But yeah, that does sound absolutely amazing. Because I do feel like I waste a lot of my drafting table. Like, a lot of my drafting table is just not used. Like, having a custom size would be good. And I get why they make drafting tables like they do, but I just don't need them to be that big. Right, I'm just doing a refresh of the comments because I have got to the end of them as of Friday afternoon. I've got one more to read. So I was just doing a refresh just to check nobody had left a comment while I've been filming.